men's side of things. Let's start first with Trey Cunningham. Obviously, tore up the high hurdles this year. I mean, ended his season with the medal in Eugene. Indoor champion in the 60, outdoor champion in the 110s. Number 2 time in the 60 behind.
Wait, sorry.
Number 2 in the 60 all time behind.
Grant Holloway.
In the 110s, number 2 behind.
You confused me with 60 because I was like thinking of an actual flat 60.
Number 2 in the high hurdles behind.
He beat Roberts this time?
He ran even, right? So it's tied, I guess. 13 dead.
Yeah, behind Grant. Yeah, he's the he's.
We didn't think we'd see another Grant Holloway for a while.
Yeah.
And then
we did it though. He's not Grant Holloway.
He's right there. He got
yeah,
really,
but you can be really, but just as you can be within a win, but you're not.
With the what? What'd you say? With the
I was trying to say within an inch. He's not Grant Holloway.
Your voice turned into a turntable there. It was interesting.
He would only be Grant Holloway if he ran faster.
Real close. Way closer than I thought he would be. To his
100%.
I mean, 13
way
dead.
Yeah.
I mean, Roberts was right there too.
But
he's running at the same time as Grant.
If you remove Grant Holloway from the universe,
which
would be a wild thing to do.
Don't do that. Don't do that, America or the world.
If I snap the fingers.
Do not remove Grant Holloway from the universe.
Okay, I won't do it. But if you did.
We need more Grant Holloways.
We do need more Grant Holloways. But if you did, we would be calling Trey Cunningham Grant Holloway.
No, we'd be calling him Trey Cunningham, and we'd be like, can you believe so-and-so almost ran Trey Cunningham's times?
Yeah.
8-0 total, 4-0 in the highs. Outdoors, 4-0 in the highs. Indoors.
Was he perfect? He's basically perfect.
He was. Yeah, he didn't lose.
He
didn't lose. A final.
Never lost.
Didn't lose a final.
Never lost.
Although it says indoors here. That's weird. He got third. That was probably. Was that a flat? Oh, that was flat 60. Sorry about that. Yeah. And they say versus collegians, but
yeah,
he was perfect. And again, just to cement his argument, you look at what he did against the best in the world, and
that was a heat that he ran into that he won.
Gotcha.
So people that were in his lanes against him.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's the case for Trey Cunningham. Let's go next to Aiden Owens Delerme of Arkansas, multi-event athlete. Won the decathlon outdoors, won the heptathlon indoors, number 2 in the heptathlon all time, and number 3 all time in the outdoor decathlon. He had a great season. Again, you talk about all-time marks in the collegiate multi-events. Ashton Eaton is in there, right? So you're competing against and Trey Hardy, some of the best to ever do it. So he was solid all year long. Heptathletes, just as we saw, and decathletes, multi-eventers in general, like we saw with Anna Hall, they don't compete a ton if they're not doing an individual event throughout the year, and you don't know how to compare what they're doing to what everybody else is doing. But he was great. He was great and had a great Worlds too.
So one thing I think that's kind of cool about him is that
he's from Pennsylvania?
He is? North Allegheny. What up?
Wexford, PA.
Yeah, boy.
Okay.
No. He not only did he won, but he won in a year where the guy who broke the collegiate record was competing. Kyle Garland of Georgia. Like the fact that because sometimes it can be weak years.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue it's the hardest year to win because the collegiate record holder was in the event that same year in his peak. And he beat Kyle Garland at NCAA Outdoors after Kyle Garland had broken the collegiate record. So I think that, and you could also look at indoors. Kyle Garland had already scored 6,200 points 3 times in his career, and Aiden Owens beat him at NCAA. So I just think it's like a unique thing where, yes, he went 2 for 2, but he went 2 for 2 against probably the hardest. Like Ashton Eaton didn't need to beat a Kyle Garland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trey Hardy didn't need to beat a Kyle Garland.
Yeah,
but Aiden Owens had to beat a Kyle Garland, and I think that should be a reason to kind of look at his 2-0 as maybe like a more impressive because you have the Kyle Garland factor.
Okay. often overlooked.
Often
Kyle
overlooked.
effect. Yeah.
And Aiden
Factor.
Owens did pretty well at Worlds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he was solid at Worlds. All right, and the final nominee, Randolph Ross. Again, this comes as he's under the announcement that he's going to be serving a suspension. I mean, people are probably going to argue whether or not his name should be even included in there. Now, just to say it, right, he didn't get suspended until after. That final missed test wasn't until after the season. So if you're looking at it just by the letter of the law of the dates of when these infractions occurred, he was still eligible, obviously, to be competing at that point. The result that got nullified was his USA's result. It was not his NCAA championship result. So he wins indoors, wins outdoors. I think if you're looking at it purely just on what he did on the track, he kind of suffers the high expectations game here a little bit because he didn't go sub 44. Looked like he'd be able to potentially get that indoor world record. Didn't get it. He was perfect in 400s throughout the year. But I would say,
Randolph Ross is better in 2021.
He was number 3 all-time indoor in the 400. Didn't have an all-time mark outdoors.
He went 43.8 in 2021.
Yeah.
At NCAAs.
It felt like after the indoor season, he was just kind of gearing himself to get ready to make sure he just won and then qualified, got to USAs, and then got to Worlds, which, unfortunately for him, they didn't get to run. This season felt more like a long game as opposed to a chase a bunch of collegiate accolades.